Greetings, Shining Bulls and Shining Bears, and welcome to this, the 50th episode of the Crypto Astrology Podcast. Please note that financial astrology, similar to technical analysis, is not 100%. I, Maya Raghavan, am not an influencer. I am not a financial advisor. Rather, I am a financial astrologer, using the planetary positions as data inputs in my analysis of the probable nature of price movements. I do not make your decisions for you. Your decisions are up to you. Shining Bull content is here to stimulate your own thought process as you make your own decisions relating to your own finances for yourself and by yourself. Please do share my videos with others so that more people benefit from my work as a financial Vedic astrologer. We're going to take a look now at what this week holds for Bitcoin and Ether price. Remember that on ShiningBull.com you can get predictive books on Bitcoin and Ether price for this year and for the next few years. These books let you recognize what is happening in the present moment so that you can put current price trends into context and properly understand what they will lead to next. You might already notice that even analysts who are on TV and big names on financial and crypto Twitter don't have that context. They make reactive claims based on the current trend because they don't know the true cause of the price movement. Then again, some such people do have the context because everyone is starting to see. Jupiter and Uranus have been transiting together after all. So welcome. When we look at the planets, we have an edge, and that edge is what Shining Bull is offering you. Now, here are the major movements in the sky that will be affecting us here on the Earth plane this week. On Tuesday, April 23rd, in the very early morning UTC, Mangala Mars enters Pisces. This is an interesting movement. People will start getting more emotional and at the same time grounded in their emotion. Mars will be transiting on Bitcoin's natal Jupiter. This looks to me like the crypto industry becoming more driven by bigger ideas relating to individuality. Tuesday night, the full moon is exact with the moon in Swati Nakshatra. And to me, this looks like some shifts in leadership at the regulatory or administrative levels. And I'm really not sure who this relates to, but an example is how people are starting to say that Gary Gensler of the United States SEC is going to resign. I really don't know if this is fact because it looks like people on crypto Twitter just wishfully thinking, but it is a good example of the type of thing that will likely be happening on Tuesday. You may also see interesting things happening with people who are executives in the private sector who have worked in regulatory bodies or vice versa, such as people, for example, crossing over from public to private, vice versa. Anyway, on Wednesday, April 24th, in the evening UTC, Shukracharya Venus enters Aries. In personal life, this can be difficult, especially in romance and with women in general. So I would say it's good to generally go slowly in any interpersonal relationship. And women or femme or Venusian people are typically more aggravated when Venus is in Aries. This also means that women must be treated with special sensitivity because if not, then you are damaging your own Venus. At the same time, for crypto, what I'm seeing is that powerful women in the industry or in TradFi crypto products are likely to become more fighty and proactive, which can be positive for the industry. On Thursday, April 25th, around midday UTC, Budh Mercury turns direct. This happens extremely close or almost right on true Rahu in the sky. This is another reason to be careful in communication in general. It's likely also that some type of hack is discovered to have occurred on Thursday too. Then on Saturday, April 27th, in the early morning UTC, when Moon trines newly direct Mercury in the sky, that's when I see a strong drop starting for Bitcoin. Generally until Saturday should be up, and then Saturday a strong drop starts as I see it. Those are the big moves in the sky this week. Next, I'm going to go day by day and tell you what I see for Bitcoin and Ether price this week, more up close. Please note that Bitcoin BTC 2024 Predictions, the book, is available on ShiningBull.com. This book gives several turning points per month when Bitcoin price will start moving in a given direction. And it's a valuable addition to any swing traders or day traders toolbox. 2. Bitcoin BTC 2024 Predictions gives an added edge to investors, fund managers, and anyone interested in Bitcoin as an asset. The book ETH BTC 2024 Predictions for the Ratio is also available on ShiningBull.com for those of you who trade the ratio. So now let's look at more up close at the week ahead. I, the astrologer, live in Newfoundland, but I give the weekly predictions that I make on this podcast as per UTC time. This week as a whole, I see being up until Saturday, and then Saturday I see a strong drop initiates. Sunday, April 21st, I see a drop due to some type of manipulation by large players, either funds or governments, when Moon transits in Pisces in the D9, until about midday UTC, when Moon enters Hasta and a climb begins. Monday, April 22nd, again I see a drop until around noon UTC because of Moon's transit in opposition to Mercury. Starting around noon, when Moon reaches exact opposition to Mercury, I see a steady climb start that lasts the rest of Monday. Tuesday, April 23rd UTC, Mars enters Pisces, and this is a full moon day. I see this day as being up. Wednesday, April 24th UTC, I see as up except for a drop, which can potentially be pronounced in the afternoon when Moon transits with Venus in Pisces in the D9 as Venus transits through the Gandanta on his way into Aries. Thursday, April 25th, I see the morning is up, but there is an important drop that can happen in the afternoon UTC. Like I mentioned, a hack is possible too. Mercury turns direct almost right on Rahu on Thursday. And then I see a climb starting again in the evening when Moon reaches trine to Mangal, Mars, in the sky. Ether can go up more. Friday, April 26th UTC, I see as being up. As Moon transits Anuradha, ETH can respond more on Friday to the trend, which I predict will be up. Mars is trining Ether's natal Saturn, and this is a case the evening previous to, as I just mentioned, for Thursday. Saturday, April 27th, I see an important drop beginning in the early morning UTC when Moon trines newly direct Mercury in the sky. For more details on this, experienced traders can check out the Trading Signals service on ShiningBull.com. Please read the disclaimer in the details section of this video below. So that was the weekly forecast for this week ahead in Bitcoin and Ether price. Next, some news from the past week which will impact the future of crypto and of civilization. On Saturday, April 20th, in the very early morning UTC, the Bitcoin halving occurred. At this moment, Moon transited in the nakshatra of Purva Falguni in opposition to Saturn in the sky. Saturn is mining on this earth plane. I'm going to share something fascinating with you now. As mentioned, as per Vedic astrology, Saturn is mining. In the Bitcoin Genesis block chart, natal chart, Saturn retrograded at 27 degrees and 46 degree minutes of Leo in the first pada of the nakshatra of Uttra Falguni. So the very first Bitcoin halving historically happened on November 28, 2012. And at that moment, Mercury transited near the end of Libra at 24 degrees and 22 degree minutes, 3 signs from the Bitcoin Genesis block's natal Saturn. The third position relates to effort and to bravery. And then the second Bitcoin halving of history happened on July 9th, 2016. At that moment, Jupiter transited near the Bitcoin Genesis block's natal Saturn at 24 degrees and 9 minutes of Leo. Then, the third Bitcoin halving happened on May 11th, 2020. At that moment, Sun transited in trine to the Bitcoin Genesis block's natal Saturn at 26 degrees and 52 minutes of Aries in Kritika Nakshatra. And now, the fourth Bitcoin halving happened just yesterday on Friday, April 19th. Saturday, UTC, the 20th. At this moment, Dev Guru transited in almost exact trine to the Bitcoin Genesis block's natal Saturn at 27 degrees and 23 minutes of Aries in Kritika. He was almost right in the same place where Sun transited in the previous halving. Such is the power of Saturn. Saturn is what makes Sun visible because Saturn is form. Saturn is the neuter gender child of Sun, Chaya, who is shadow. Saturn is the coldest of the planets in the solar system that are visible with the naked eye. They are condensing in nature, and that's also why they create and move form. Sun is visible all day, not just at sunrise and sunset, because he illuminates form on the earth plane. Saturn, at the moment of Bitcoin's Genesis block, was retrograding in the sun-ruled nakshatra of Uttra Falguni in sun sign Leo. This is why Bitcoin proponents often use the words sovereign or sovereignty. Saturn, at that moment, was putting a system in place that would show individuals their own internal king, their own internal sun. Sun rules the banking sector, and this is why Bitcoin made people their own bank. This timeline is progressing. Sun is the king and related to leaders and also to banks because, like kings, people give the bank all of their money or value or esteem. The point is that at the Bitcoin Genesis block, we entered into a timeline, a new timeline, which is progressing towards a new type of king. This king is the individual. As I mentioned in the Bitcoin by 2026 book on ShiningBull.com, we're going towards a new type of civilization where the individual has to look to themselves as the leader, not to a political head of state, not to a bank. What is best for the environment now and for Bitcoin miners is that they mine in places with a lot of sunlight and sustainable energy sources. And this is why Bitcoin miners have been moving to such locations on the globe. So Bitcoin itself depends more on the natural terrain or ubication or location of places on Earth, not on national borders. But as I mentioned in this week's Saturn Crypto podcast, miners have also been diversifying to different countries to preemptively anticipate potential regulatory problems in different countries. The fight between the false construct of nations and the reality that certain places on Earth have a climate, topography, etc., more conducive to Bitcoin mining might become stronger. But progress is real. Progress is conceptualizing the Earth as a whole, with individuals who relate to one another in various and differentiated ways, located across those false national borders from each other and wanting to transact economically with each other. And progress will win. So that's all for this week, and I will see you next week. Thank you.